Our beliefs are so tightly wound inside our being that we believe them. We believe that that is the truth, even if it limits us. Let's talk about today how those beliefs that limit us can be transformed to empower us. Let's go get that nugget. Welcome to Phoenix Rising, a superior podcast for all of your transformative tools for personal and spiritual growth. Let's go get that nugget. Hey guys, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to today's episode where I'm hoping that I am finding you installing new, empowering beliefs. If you're not installing new, empowering beliefs, then it is my intention that in today's episode, I give you just one nugget of inspiration towards your transformation. So I want to talk about a little coaching that Amy and I did just a few days ago. She has this everlasting long list of needs and desires to get things done. And there's always stuff to do. There's, it's kind of like office-y stuff, paying bills and moving things around and figuring stuff out and ordering things, working out with not working out, but things with the boys and summer camp and summer school and his baseball and, that one's work schedule and whatever, all these things, right? There's always this stuff to do. Well, when you have a big giant list like that of this endless to task, things that just never get done, you kind of feel a lot of pressure and maybe don't feel very good at the end of the day when you don't get all 197 of those things done. So Amy and I actually had this really nice conversation, and it's what I call a coaching conversation. So bear with me as I unroll some of the little nuggets along the way that really helped to transform her belief about getting things done. Now, first of all, let's define a limiting belief. A limiting belief is a belief, and I sometimes call them a story or a thought pattern, but it is a belief, a story, or a thought pattern that limits you. So, like, for example, you want to lose weight or you want to get healthy in some way, and you go, as soon as you say, yeah, I want to get healthier, and then right after that you say, but everything after that but is a limitation. But there's no gyms near me, but it's too expensive, but I hate working out in a gym, but I just can't. My whole entire family's been overweight, so I'll be overweight too. But I really love donuts and pop, right? So everything that comes after that is a belief that limits you. Now let's take it a step further. A belief is only a thought that you keep thinking, that it just plays on a loop over and over again in your mind that gets so intertwined into your energy that it becomes, in your opinion, a truth. And when it becomes a truth to you, well, you feel like it's the truth. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just a fact. Now, a belief is not a fact. Write that down. Belief with the circle with the slash through it does not equal a fact. A fact is you are made of energy. A fact is you are a human and you house a spirit, and you're having a human experience through a spiritual connection. A fact is you're here as long as you're here, and then you're not. A fact is you can change your beliefs. Now, here's how the story unfolds. She's getting upset. We're having this conversation. We're in the living room. She's on one couch. I'm on the other. We're totally relaxed. It's like 9:30 at night. She's like, oh yeah, I got to get all this stuff done. And I go, okay, let's talk about this for a second. If you were to be successful in getting all of the things done, which is in this here, like draw a circle on your paper or put your hand up and say, okay, here's the belief of that. Like, I got to get all these things done. What are the supporting beliefs underneath there that support that belief? Because a belief is a thought that you keep thinking, but it is also has all these underlying beliefs that support it. Okay. Would be something like, I never have enough time. I'm not focused enough. I'm easily distracted. I don't want to. I'm not good at it. These are all limiting beliefs, but those beliefs support the main belief of I never get anything done. Are you with me so far? Okay. So what we need to do now is we need to change those beliefs. We need to be willing. First of all, you need to be willing. First of all, you need to recognize that it's a belief. I would invite you to challenge it. I would invite you to look at that belief, look at this outcome, look at this part of your life that isn't working and go, what are all of my beliefs about that thing? What are all of my beliefs about this area of my life that isn't working? And we were talking about health. She wants to lose weight. We want to get in shape. We're dealing with some weird health issues. We're all working on this, right? We're trying to get our bodies back into working order. And I say, okay, so now on the flip side of that, if we want this goal, what would be the supporting beliefs over there? And she says, first thing she says, focus. I said, okay, so let's think about the word focus. Now, if we think about the word focus, what does that mean? That means that I have the ability to stay on task for longer periods of time without distraction, without getting myself distracted, without letting interruptions come in. So there's lots of parts and pieces to that, but just for the sake of this simple conversation, let's just say it's focus. Focus would be a supporting belief to the belief of, I want to get things done, or I'm successful at knocking things off the list. So when you have your one belief that says on your left side, and let's say you have the one belief that says, I never get anything done, and then here's a whole list of beliefs that support that belief. Then on the right side, you have this belief that says, I always get these things done, or I'm good at getting things done. What is a belief underneath there? Focus. Okay, now let's build a bridge. Let's build an Indiana Jones type bridge, that it's this loose, rickety bridge between the limiting belief and the new belief. And the reason I say an old, rickety, swinging bridge with old rope and boards is that by the time you make your way across the bridge, you're going to use your big machete and you're going to cut those ropes and watch that bridge completely collapse. Now, that cliff over there are your limiting beliefs. The cliff over here that you're trying to get to are your new empowering beliefs. But here's the caveat. You have to cross the bridge. You have to walk across the bridge. What do you need to walk across the bridge? It's one 5-letter word. Trust. I need to trust. I need to trust that I can make it to the other side. I need to trust that that belief is better than this belief. I need to trust that I have it in me to let this one go and become a newer, better version of myself. Okay, so if I'm going to walk across this bridge, I need to know where I'm headed. I need to make sure that if I'm going to walk across this rickety bridge, that this is where I'm supposed to go. So read the map carefully. Now, what does that mean? I have a limiting belief. That belief limits me. What do I actually want? Now, the key question here, and I want you to write this down if you're taking notes, I want you to write this down. The key question is, if I didn't believe that, what would I believe? Or if that weren't true, what would be true for me? If the belief of I never get anything done, or I'm never going to lose weight, or I'm never going to find the love of my life, and if that's your belief, then ask yourself, if that one weren't true, what would be true? And then you start to form a new belief. So we started working on this sentence. I said, okay, well, let's use the word focus. She started with something like, I'm a really focused person. She's like, no. And I'm very intuitive. And so I can tap into the energy of the person I'm working with and I can feel if that's a truth or not. And I'm like, no. And she's like, okay, so what if it was, I make focused decisions that profoundly affect my life? Man, I'm across the room from her and I was like chilled from head to toe. And I look at her and she's got this big smile on her face. And I said, yeah, I said, that is a good one. So we create a new belief with words that we resonate with. Now, what those words in that moment, when you create a sentence like that, and when you start to feel the sentence, is that to me is your spirit going, that's where we're headed. Those words really resonate with that goal. So the right hand belief, those words, that sentence, that new vocabulary really resonates with that goal. They are in tune with each other. That's no different than on the other side, the left side, where you have these limiting beliefs that say, I never get anything done. You can feel the alignment with that as well, because you say it and then it feels true and you have an emotional response. Now, the emotional response might be frustration, but you still have an emotional response. Those are in alignment with each other. Now, the difference is, I don't want to be limited. I want to get things done. I want to be healthy. I want to be in a successful relationship. I want to feel like I'm enough. I want to feel like I'm meant for something on this planet, that I belong here. Well, then we need new words and we need new vocabulary. Now, a couple episodes ago, I said like the process of creation is thought to words, moves down through the throat and into the heart. And the heart and the emotions is what creates. We send out the signal of our desire, of our intention with our thoughts, our visuals, our imagination, and our words. But if our words don't align, then that from the head doesn't make it down through the channel of our throat into our heart, which then creates this magnetic portal. So as the signal goes out into the universe, the magnetic portal of the heart sucks it to us. So brings in the relationship, brings in the money, brings in the body, brings in the joy and the love of the things and the experiences that you want to experience. But if we don't get that loop going, we don't bring in diddly squat. We don't bring in, we kink the hose. It doesn't work. Okay. So when we're creating the sentence, we must feel the connection of the words we're using to our desire. When you say those words, your body should light up. Now, I say this all the time from stage, and the people, the audience are like, yeah, I get it. Do you though? I want to repeat it because I think it's important, because otherwise you're not going to create. When I say those words, I need to feel it. And I don't need to fake it to feel it. I need to feel it. So she used the words, when I make focused decisions, it profoundly impacts, or it profoundly affects my life. Oh, so beautiful. Such a beautiful thing. So now what do we do with those new words? Well, I've talked to you about mala beads before. It is such a beautiful way to begin a meditation practice. If you don't know what mala beads are, you can go to our store, themeditationroomtc.com, go to our little search, the little magnifying glass, go there, type in mala beads. But it's basically a beautiful beaded necklace, sometimes with a tassel, sometimes with a charm. They're Indian-based, and Hindu religion, though we're not Hindu, we're not Hindi, and we're not Buddhist. We're spiritual, though. So we connect to those spiritual things, the spiritual energy, Mother Earth and source energy, to help us to connect ourselves energetically to bring about the things that we want to experience. So there's 108 beads. They're gemstones, they're wood, they're lava stone, they're tiger eye, they're rose quartz, they're amethyst. I have a really cool chakra one. They're kiwi jasper, there's picture jasper. They're beautiful, they're amazing. But here's what they do, because it creates such a powerful effect in our lives. And I could tell you, not kidding, if we had time, I could tell you 1,000 stories of creation using mala beads. Now, this isn't about selling mala beads, but this is about getting the mind to focus on the new vocabulary. Now, you also heard me say a couple days ago that Amy and I were coming home from Holland, not the country, the city in Michigan, and we had done our expo there, and we were coming home. It's about 2.5 hour drive. We're having this big giant conversation, and I said, "How many times do we talk about our pain?" Oh, I don't know, 15 times. Okay, well, that's like 300 times. Well, it's not 300. I do the math right. Sorry about the noise. It's a lot of times. What is 15 times 7? Do it right here. Okay, it's 105. So let's say it's 105 times in a week, in a common week, that you talk about your pain. Well, when we talk about our pain, understand that you are keeping your pain in the body. The more we complain about it, the more we talk about it. When we give our limiting beliefs power, by giving them attention, by giving them words, by talking about them over and over again, you are continuing that side of the bridge. You're continuing to stand on that side of the bridge, when what you want is to get over there to that side of this rickety bridge. So every single day we have to change our words and our vocabulary. It doesn't mean lying to yourself, but it does mean some forward thinking. It does mean being proactive in your life that says, I am deciding I'm going to use new vocabulary because I'm sick and tired of being on this side of the bridge. So I'm going to trust myself and my energy and what Jen is telling me, and I'm going to walk across this rickety bridge, and I'm going to cut the ropes, and I'm going to watch that bridge crash along the limiting belief cliff. And I'm going to stand here in my righteous place on this cliff, newly empowered. That is my message to you. When there is something in your life that you just aren't reaching, we must dissect the words. We have to decipher what is the vocabulary in the sentences that we are using that support the where I'm at right now. And it doesn't matter where you are, but I will tell you this. I could have a 10-minute conversation with you where you are talking 9 minutes of the 10 minutes. And at the end of that minute, I will tell you the words you're using, the sentences, the vocabulary is what's keeping you blocked. And I would simply ask you, if those beliefs weren't true, what would be true for you? Now, if you are a member of the Phoenix Rising podcast, you will then get, and I decided I'm going to start putting the member-only content that is, well, let me explain something. Well, I'll finish the sentence. I am going to be putting in the member area show notes, right at the very top, it'll say for members only. So then you as a member, you will see that this is membership content. For those of you that are not a member yet, it's $5 a month. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create now, after this one, I'm going to create a walkthrough. This is what I'm calling a transformative exercise, where I'm going to take you through this exercise to get rid of a limiting belief and install a new one. So if you want to become a member, I highly recommend you click down in the show notes. And I believe the link is the meditation. I think it's the first link in the show notes, and it's the meditation room. No, it's not. It's theenrichmentacademy.com/member area, I think. But anyway, it is written in the show notes. I will learn the link, but this is all brand new. Click on there, sign up to become a member. It's $5 a month. And what you do is you get access to all of this free content, as well as the guided meditations, all of these exercises, these transformative exercises I'm going to walk you through, and this really, really rich content to help you transform your life, because that's what we're doing. So if you're just listening to this in traffic and it's just a little bit of knowledge, fantastic. Please enjoy what I'm teaching you and use it as best as you can. If you want to become a member, I will guarantee you that it will be worth your $5 a month. I promise you. Okay, so check it out in the show notes and share with me. Let me know how it's going. Let me know. Show me in the Lady Rising Facebook group how it's working, what's going on, what you want to do. And maybe if you have any ideas, if there's something that you're struggling with, if you have a question, bookmark this podcast and say, okay, I think this is going to be number 478 or 479 is, hey, I have a question about this podcast and I have this belief about blah, blah, blah. Can you help me? Heck yeah. Let's make it. Let's make this community a place of support. So if you want to become a member, check in the show notes, check the link, become a member. And after this video or after this audio, this episode, you will get that transformative exercise to really help you to release that limiting belief.